G'day and welcome back to the channel and the battle against the FIA's proposed new rules, controlling and effectively killing the hobby. Now, I've been doing a lot of thinking. As I said, that strategy is important here. We need to come up with some ideas that are going to not only get our points across, but to capture the public's attention and their hearts and their minds. So a few things, I'm going to float a few ideas to you in this video, just things that have crossed my mind. First of all, we need to raise our profile. And we're being told that these drones and models are so dangerous that they must have electronic ID on them. You must be registered, the drone must be registered, and you need some kind of test to prove that you know what you're doing. And on the face of it, these sound like reasonable requests, but when you look closer at it, we're talking about children with toys in some cases, and they're all going to fall into this net, and it's going to kill the hobby because you won't be able to build your own models unless you want to fly them in a grassy field in the middle of nowhere with all sorts of other constraints and time frames, because those grassy fields over the fullness of time will gradually disappear. Land becomes used for other things, land changes hands, and property owners, the new owner may say, we don't want you flying here anymore, all sorts of things like that. So it does spell the death of the hobby as we know it. So we need to remind the public that we're here, because a lot of the time they don't know. The first idea I had was, how about a national model flying day or a drone flying day? Need to sort out the terminology here. I know a lot of people say, oh, they're not drones, they're models. And other people say, well, mine is a drone. So we need to work out what we're going to do. But the whole idea behind this is to raise our profile, get ourselves in the media so we can have our voice heard. And I'm thinking, if every person who has a drone anywhere in the world flew it at exactly the same time on the same day, then we could claim that virtually all of the world's recreational drones were in the air at once and nobody died. I'm hoping nobody would die. I'm pretty sure nobody would die. If we flew responsibly, but we flew collectively, all at the same time, we would have hundreds of thousands, well, I'd like to say millions, but let's face it, unfortunately, in any kind of initiative like this, we may be a million strong in number, but you're only going to get 10%, if that, actually getting off their little bottom and doing something about what is facing them. So we can't expect to get everybody with a drone flying them at the same time. I'd like to get as many as possible and alert the media ahead of time so the media can get out there with their cameras and they will see that the skies weren't filled with drones. Everyone was flying their drones, but we couldn't find any because really, drones are not the problem they're made out to be. There are not as many drones filling our skies as some would like us to think. So if we can do that, and hopefully we can go then to the media and say, there were X drones flown simultaneously all around the world. No aircraft were brought down. Nobody was killed. Nobody was injured. It was perfectly safe. So how can it be that we need all this regulation and restriction when we've just shown you practically in an irrefutable way that drones are not a risk? They're not a danger to other users of the airspace. They're not a danger to people on the ground. They really are not. So hopefully that would be one way of getting our point across. I think, tell me what you think. Is that going to be a practical way to do it? Remember, we have to capture the media, have to give the media something to cover. And this would be something to cover the most drones in the air at any time in the entire history of the planet. So for some people, they'd have to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and fly, but we'll try and structure the time so that most populated zones in the Western world, it was at a sensible hour. But some people are going to have to fly at 2 in the morning. Maybe I will have to get up. Well, I'm already up usually. I'll fly at 2 in the morning just to do that. We'd all register on a website or whatever so that we could have all the long list of people, and you'd be invited to post your videos to YouTube. So YouTube would be flooded with videos, maybe some of them only 15 or 30 seconds long, to show that we were flying. Facebook, Instagram, all your favorite social media, flood that with pictures of you flying your drone at the same time. That's something that will be very hard for the media to ignore, for the public to ignore, and most importantly of all, the politicians to ignore. We're going to present them with facts. Here's the facts. Nobody died. Most drones ever flown at one time in the entire history of the planet, nobody died. Your thoughts, to the comments with your thoughts, please. Now again, on the subject of rallying the public to our cause, we need to get some celebrities involved. Actually, somebody Googled my name the other day with Google Assist, and apparently I'm a celebrity, although you wouldn't know it to look at me. But we need to get some more well-known celebrities, people who are known to the general public, actors, anyone, politicians. It doesn't matter who, if they're a public figure, we need to find out if they have or enjoy the hobby, if they've enjoyed the hobby in the past, if they're model flyers when they were young or whatever, or if they're still flying models, and get them to speak out on our behalf. Now, I sent a tweet hoping to attract James May's attention. James May, the guy that used to be on Top Gear and more latterly was in the Grand Tour on Amazon Prime. I was hoping that he might come to our aid to a degree because he did a very good program a while ago on men's toys. It was a toy program where they got a glider and they flew it from the UK to an island out in the Channel or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'll put a link to that video in the description of this one. You can go and have a look. But obviously James May is quite captivated by the hobby. He thinks the hobby's great. So if James May was to speak out and say, hey, you can't kill this hobby, it's fantastic, that would carry a lot of weight with a lot of people. Now, the only downside of this is James May's currently contracted to Amazon, who I think we all agree is probably one of the players who is behind these changes to the drone regulation, because that empowers the commercial operators over the recreational operators. So it may be that James May would contractually not be allowed to come out and speak what amounts to against his employer. I don't know. It'll be a very interesting test, won't it? If James May comes out in favour of the hobby, then we know that Amazon perhaps isn't the ogre we thought they were. If he doesn't come out in favour of the hobby, if he remains completely silent, then I think that's just another perhaps little mark against Amazon, because maybe they would have said to him, don't go there. We don't know. So toss that around. What do you think? To the comments with your thoughts on that one. But we really have to do some research and find out who are the other big names in the world that are aligned with the hobby, that are friendly to the hobby, and we need to approach them. We need to approach them and get them to come and speak on our behalf to the great unwashed masses. And how do we do that? Well, normally you have to go through agents and pay lots of money to get these people involved, but thankfully we have social media. So first step, identify celebrities that you think may have an association with the hobby in some shape or form and who may be willing to speak out on our behalf. Once we've got a list of those, then we'll do a Twitter storm. Everyone in the hobby send a tweet out to these people at the same time. They can't ignore a Twitter storm. If they get 100,000 tweets all asking them to do the same thing, then I think they might, at least they will be aware that their attention has been requested. And we might get just one or two of them coming back and saying, hey, how can we help? If they do, that's points in our favour. That means we can go to the public, get these household names and faces in front of the public, telling the truth, telling it like it is, not like the media has portrayed it, not like regulators are portraying it, because we need to get the truth out there. The truth is power. Unfortunately, in this era where the truth is effectively whatever the media says it is, we're at a bit of a disadvantage. And also, I can't help but reiterate the need for unity in this battle, because it is indeed a battle, and we are a disparate community. There's too many lines drawn, even within things like the drone racing or the freestyle drone community. We have factions, we have camps, and then there's little bits of bickering and infighting going on. Not good enough. We can't afford to do that. We can't afford to do that. We have to focus our attentions on the mutual enemy, which at this stage is the FAA and their NPRM. We can't waste our efforts. We can't waste our time bickering amongst ourselves. For example, the AMA, I don't think they're doing a good job. A lot of people don't think they're doing a good job, but we still need the AMA to be in on this. We can't just have them doing their own little thing and someone else doing their own little thing. We've got to be unified. We've got to come together and say, we all got to pull in the same direction against this big ogre that is the FAA and their proposed rules. To do that, we need to get some kind of dialogue going. We need to get some kind of central point where we can all exchange ideas and cross over. I'm trying to get that sorted out now. So I'd love to hear from all the different organisations. I'm talking to the FPV Freedom Coalition. I have had one of my suggestions acknowledged by the AMA on their YouTube channel. I'd like to bring that a lot more formally together and have some behind the scenes discussions so we can actually really be effective. It's one thing going through the motions, it's another thing being effective. And we need to be effective. So come on, all your organisations, please contact me. There is an email address on the About page on my channel. Go there, you get my email address, you can contact me, and then we can get that ball rolling. It is so crucial to the success of defending our hobby. Honestly, we really need to do it. Do it now. So that's it for this little update. Not a lot to share, but there's just a couple of the ideas I've had, and I've got more which I'll be rolling out. Some of the things I'm keeping very close to my chest because we don't want to pre-alert the FAA and those who are lobbying for these changes. We don't want to let them know ahead of time what we're planning to do. But as I say, I really want your feedback. I'm just one guy. This is a community thing. Every single person's opinion is absolutely valuable. and I need to hear it now. And as I say, spread this video to all your friends through social media if you can, because we need the strength in numbers. There is strength in numbers. We don't have the numbers. I think I'm getting like 14,000 views or something on a video. It's nothing. Politicians don't care about 14,000 views. They really don't give a damn at all. So we need flight test. They did a really good video with Josh Bixler, really doing a job well, as I mentioned in my last video, but we need to get together. We need a central focus. So please, I'll be calling for the right to speak on your behalf soon. But in the meantime, everyone needs to know about this. Your mother, your sister, your cat, your cat's kittens, everyone that can have a say needs to have a say, and you need to be following along what I'm doing here so we can be coordinated. There you go. That's it. SD card's nearly full. Thanks for watching. Thanks to my Patreon supporters. It enables me the luxury of making these videos without having to worry about the fact that YouTube demonetizes half of them. There you go. Bye for now.